Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life, the channel that talks everything Wentworth. If you are new to the channel, or if you are a regular watcher but haven't yet subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now for all future updates. Okay then, Wentworth Season 3, Episode 11, The Living and the Dead. Sounds like a horror film, doesn't it? Now, this is the pre-final of Season 3 and everything is ramped up a few gears. The episode begins on a corker when Bea and Fletcher work together to bring Joan Ferguson down. Fletcher ends up going to Joan's office in the middle of the night during his shift and he ends up leaving her a little surprise present. Joan comes into work the following morning and when she opens the door to her office, she sees hundreds of photos of Gianna wallpapered all over her office, all over the windows. Joan starts ripping them all down in a huge panic. It's a great scene and this really catches Joan off guard, which is very rare and I love it. So Joan goes on the hunt to find out who left her this little surprise. She initially thinks that it is Fletcher because, you know, he is on the night shift, and Joan, she's always thought that Fletcher is faking his brain injury or at least playing it down. And when Joan confronts Fletcher, there is this absolutely hilarious moment where Joan does this impression of Fletcher. It's like blah blah blah. I just gotta say though, Fletcher plays a blinder. He acts totally dumb. He acts like that he doesn't know anything or why Joan is speaking to him like a naughty little schoolboy, and he actually convinces Joan that this has nothing to do with him. Joan then goes to Bea's cell to do a cell search without her there, and then Bea returns to his cell just as Joan is in the middle of his cell search, and this is where Joan notices a sketch of her face on Bea's wall, and when Joan goes to take it down, Bea puts her hand on it, and Joan then grabs Bea's face really tight. She squeezes it like a lemon as if they're about to go at it, and I was like, yes! But Joan manages to contain her anger and she ends up leaving the unit, but it's so good seeing Joan rattled and unnerved by this whole thing, and Joan is really starting to lose control. In the end, Joan goes to Linda Miles to check the number of the key card that was used to get into her office, and heaven behold, Vera's name pops up. I mean, it wasn't Vera, but Bea made sure that it would be Vera who gets the blame because Bea wants to completely separate Joan and Vera, and Bea just wants Joan to be isolated. And of course, we have the amazing scene where Vera and Joan, they end up going head to head verbally, and Joan shows the photo of Gianna to Vera and tells Vera that she will annihilate her, and Vera is like, yeah, whatever bitch, you're crazy, you're not fit to be governor. Well, it didn't go quite like that, but it was along those lines, and Joan ends up slapping Vera right across her face, and it is one hell of a whack. Look at the marks on Vera's cheeks there. Ouch. Joan continues to be a bitch towards Vera when she announces in a staff meeting that Vera has caught hepatitis C. Ooh, double ouch. I think, the honeymoon period is well and truly over. Fletcher ends up remembering his conversation with Kelly Bryant in season 2, when she told him that Joan has had it in for Will, the social worker, and this ended up causing the death of Gianna. But up until this point, we were all under the impression that Gianna had killed herself. It turns out that the other women lynched and killed Gianna after they found out about her relationship with Joan. The plot thickens. So now that Fletcher remembers everything, Fletch goes to see Will at Will's home and tells him everything. Will then goes to see Bea, who confirms everything about the man in the mirror, because don't forget guys, they don't know the name of this man just yet. Now Bea gives that little bit of DNA evidence, the stuff from under her fingernails that she had been hiding, but Will tells Bea that this evidence is useless if they don't have this person's name. Now, B, she had asked CRAIGz a few episodes ago, her in the Red Right Hand, to get this information, which B is still waiting for. So everything is pretty much dangling on a piece of string on a timer, and things are just getting insanely intense. Also, the cops found footage of Will throwing something into the lake. Of course, this is part of the murder weapon, the head, I believe it was, the murder of Harry Smith, but the cops don't know that yet. And the cops, they end up going diving in the lake to find it, and towards the end of the episode, they do find that weapon that Will had thrown into the lake. Now, is Will's time up, or will CRAIGz get to be with the info on time? This is so intense, I love it. Juicy Lucy is back, but in a wheelchair after her vicious beating from Maxine and B. Vera, oh god, she's on the warpath for revenge because Vera knows it was Juice who stabbed her with that infected needle. First of all, Juice has a strip search and Vera turns into a little mini Joan Ferguson for a moment with her little rubber gloves. B and Maxine pay Juice a visit because they want her to tell the authorities that it was Joan Ferguson who beat her up and put her in a wheelchair. Oh my god, I love this line where Juice says, "You might be top dog and the dog's bollocks, but I'm nobody's bitch." Freaking love it. So B gets Juice's crew to give her a wide berth, leaving Juice without any friends or support and no crew. Eventually, this all leads up to an intense scene between Vera and Juice on the edge of some stairs. Now, Vera pushes Juice, in a wheelchair to the edge of the stairs and threatens to push her down. God, this scene is so intense. I remember when I was first watching it, I could not take my eyes off the screen. Juice works out that Vera has clearly found out that she caught Hep C from the needle, and she then goes on to taunt Vera, telling her that she has a face like a slapped ass. Do it, vinegar tits. Vera then pulls Juice back, but Juice then goes to elbow Vera in the chest, and this causes Juice's wheelchair to take a nasty tumble down the stairs. Now, technically, this was an unfortunate accident, but Vera did, pull Juice back from the edge of the steps, but it would never have happened, guys, if Vera hadn't taken Juice there in the first place and threatened to actually throw her down the stairs. This is a really dark moment for Vera. Those Ferguson tendencies were definitely getting the better of her. It's almost as if, Vera really wanted to do this to Joan, especially after Joan slapped Vera in the face, but she took it out on Juice. Juice then ends up telling the nurse, Nurse Rose, that it was Joan Ferguson who threw her down the stairs. Ooh. Joan is off having a rant and a rave with her father, and Fletcher has followed her. However, Joan's father is dead. Yes, she's having a row with herself, more or less. Basically, Joan's dad is a figment of Joan's imagination, and like I said, Fletcher has followed her and he's watching and witnessing Joan having a row with basically fresh air. Joan then turns around and Fletcher tells her that he knows what she's done and that she's fucking insane. I mean, at this stage, yeah, Joan is definitely looking like that she needs that padded room, and fast. Towards the end of the episode, Joan meets up with that man in the mirror, and she orders him to take care of Mr. Fletcher, and to make sure that this time he does it properly. It's really hard to believe that they managed to fit all of this into one episode. It's absolutely incredible. Poor Doreen isn't feeling very well in this episode because, well, it's because of that bitch there, Jess Warner. Jess is spiking Doreen's cups of tea with the drugs that she fished out of Frankie's poop in the last episode. Now, Josh, he won't breastfeed, Doreen is exhausted, and Jess is planting the seeds to Rose that Doreen isn't coping with Joshua. It's really not looking good for her, and Jess, she ends up looking after Joshua overnight in her cell, and oh god, it's just so creepy, and it always makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable when she's rocking baby Joshua while humming that nursery rhyme. Oh, I forgot to mention Sophie. In fact, oh god, I don't think I've mentioned Sophie for the last couple of episodes. Oopsies, but Oh, it just goes to show how riveting her character is. Anyway guys, Sophie does get a letter. A member of the family of the man who she killed wants to come and visit her, and at first she asks Frankie, but Frankie says no. She then eventually asks her mother Liz, and of course Liz says yes. Ah, so sweet. Thank God we only have one more episode of Sophie. Frankie received some good news. Her parole has been approved, and when she is told, Boomer is listening and she overhears everything, and Boomer looks really sad. Now, even though Frankie was given the good news, I was still convinced that she was going to die in the next episode, the season 3 finale. I honestly thought it was going to happen. I mean, I know it doesn't happen, I know that, guys, but at the time of me first watching all of these episodes, the rumors were flying around, and yeah, I was so nervous. Anyway, this was a proper action-packed episode. It's definitely one of my favorite pre-final episodes. I think the only other pre-final that comes close for me is season 7, The Siege Part 1, maybe possibly the season 5 one when Joan gets hanged, but yeah, Wentworth is just so amazing, guys. Oh, I miss it so much. Anyway, my favourite part of this episode has to be the moment where Joan finds all of those photos of Gianna in her office. It's just a classic moment. And oh, my least favourite moment is just Jess Warner. Any scenes with Jess is just a big, massive no from me. Anyway, guys, let's hear some of your thoughts. What do you guys think of this episode? Is it one of your favourites? Go on, let me know. Were you on the edge of your seat when you were first watching it? Because I know I seriously was. Let me know everything, guys, in the comments box below. Okay then, guys, well, thank you all for watching today's video. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all again very soon.